What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with that quick analysis. We don't talk about the Brooklyn Nets, a team that people felt like will win the championship, and if it's not them winning the championship, it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. People felt like that even before they made the Harden trade, and I was not one of those people. Even though I'm a KD fan and I love me some Kyrie, that duo wasn't enough to me to even come out the East as a guarantee, to be honest and truthful. But what I will say is this team doesn't look the same. Kyrie has been obliterating anybody and anything people have threw at him, and it has not resulted into wins. Kevin Durant has not been clutch. He has missed so many key shots and so many key closing shots. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they have lost four in a row. The only reason why I bring those things up is because they did that in the beginning of the season. Kyrie got off to a hot start. Kevin Durant was starting to get back to his form. But all those close games against Washington, I can name because I watched all of them. KD missed shots. Kyrie missed shots. And you would think with two guys that's known for being clutch and known for being great shooters that they will close a lot of these games, and it just hasn't happened. When they needed their duo to step up, they haven't been able to come through when it matters. They haven't. They just haven't. And the fact that their defense is not where it needs to be, I felt like that coming into the year. I felt like that watching them in the first 3 weeks of the season. And I still feel like that now. They don't have the personnel defensively to be a great defensive team. And if I had to be honest, with them being in the middle of the pack already, they never will be. This team will not overnight become a great defensive team. They just don't have the fight. They just don't have the energy. They don't have the will to want to do it, and they just don't have the personnel to do it. You can't really blame that. Uh, that really goes to the GM for making the trades, for building this roster. And when I seen it being built, even before all the acquisitions that they have made to this point, I seen that as a whole, especially at the center position, because I'm not a DeAndre Jordan fan, especially at this stage of his career. Blake Griffin has never been known as a great defender. Nicholas Claxton has never been known as a great defender, and he's not even strong and big enough as a defender to really be a real rim protector, and he's not a great shot blocker either when you look at being elite as a rim protector. And that was a hole that I seen from day one, and they haven't been able to fill that still to this day. And another problem is this team ain't scoring the way you would think. You would think with Joe Harris and Kyrie and Kevin Durant and Jeff Green, sometimes he gets hot and sometimes he goes MIA. That's been his career, but he's been pretty solid this year. They just haven't been able to hold anybody. Guys have been getting and doing whatever they want to this team, and this team hasn't been able to force it down their throats. And even if the games are close, they haven't been able to close them and finish these teams off or put them away. They haven't, and that's a big surprise because we look at KD and Kyrie as killers. We look at them as guys that are unstoppable and unguardable, but throughout this season, they haven't been. They really haven't. And when you look at how they got to the number one seed, a lot of it was Harden. Harden giving you that 25 and 10 was a big reason why this team stayed at above average rate. Remember when they traded for Harden, this team didn't have the greatest record. They were still 500, a little bit above 500. And then they ended up having KD and these guys miss a lot of games. And Harden was a big reason why this team was able to stay winning. Even when they had the big three together, his playmaking ability, getting double digit assists. Remember, Harden led the NBA in assists for majority of this season when he was with the Nets. And he won't because he ain't played enough games, but it just shows you that the your turn, my turn philosophy just doesn't work in the NBA. It doesn't. And I felt like that coming into this season is if you have Kyrie and Kevin Durant, they're just going to go ISO, do whatever they want to do that possession, and then it's off. This team is not a great rebounding team. DeAndre Jordan has not been an elite rebounder for a while. Neither has Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin hasn't been an elite rebounder since the first 2, 3 years of his career, maybe a little bit over that. But then he declined because DeAndre Jordan became the primary rebounder. And then you look at Claxton. He's just not that either. And Kevin Durant has never been known as an elite rebounder, even though he's playing a power forward position. He hasn't even done it amazingly as a small forward. He had some seasons where he was up there, but he just haven't been able to do it consistently this year. He has games where he looks good, and he has games where he doesn't look engaged and doesn't pay enough attention to getting the rebounds. And Kyrie has those games where he looks like an all-around player, where the assist numbers are there, the rebound numbers are there, the scoring numbers are there. But a lot of that really is him taking advantage of having the ball in his hands a lot and making decisions. When you have when you have the ball in your hands a lot and you playing a lot of minutes, you can rack up a lot of those numbers because you have that opportunity. And Kyrie has took advantage of those type of situations this year, and a lot of those situations haven't even resulted in wins either. So it was a little empty basically. So I guess we have found out that James Harden may be the key to making this team a legitimate championship team, even though I was a person that questioned them as a championship team since day one coming into this league. I mean, to this season, they basically have proved me right from the beginning of the season to playing without Harden the last couple weeks. This team does need Harden to be healthy if they want to come out the East. And some of these teams are talent wise on a level. I don't look at Kyrie as a top 10 player. I didn't look at him like that coming into this year. I don't look at him like that now. I don't. And a lot of that has to do with his defense. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's mostly known for his offense. And he is an elite offensive player in his league, especially being an efficient offensive player in this league, especially the last couple years in his career. But that's what you need him to do, and that's what you bring him to the table. That's what he brings to the table, and you have to accept that. But I do think that this team will ultimately fall short if they don't get the offense clicking to a full level, because I just don't see it. I haven't seen the defense this year. I haven't seen it at all. Even when they had Harden, I still seen problems. But the problem was nobody could contain them because you have three guys that can break down the defense and you have guys that can hit and create a little bit when they do rotate or help. And it just crushes defense knowing that you have somebody in the paint. It crushes defense when you have Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant on a perimeter that if you help, they can make the play that's simple. They can knock down the mid range or the floaters or free throws, but they can also kill you from three. And that's what's going to be the determining factor if this team can win a title. Can you contain those three guys? And the answer is no. You just can't do it. And that's going to be the toughest task for a team taking this team down. Can you literally beat them at the small things that the game basically fundamentals have? Can you kill them on the glass? Can you kill them with size? And can you contain them enough to the point where you can hang in games and clamp up defense? And I always felt that way about the Lakers. The Lakers' biggest advantage is their strength and their size, but ultimately, too, they are a significantly better team when healthy and playing their best game than the Nets. They are, and I felt like that even when they made the Harden trade. That's what made it an interesting match. They have the size, they have the defense, and they have guys that make big plays. They do. And that's why I feel like the Lakers have a huge chance to still win this title. The biggest problem with them is obviously they're not healthy, and that's going to hurt them, in their playoff run. But other than that, the Nets have a lot of big problems that could be solved with just having a three best players surrounded by this type of talent, all healthy. And you can say that about the Lakers too. But other than that, the clip the problem with this Nets team is getting everybody on the court. That it sounds crazy. It sounds like It's easy to say that, but it's true. Just getting everybody healthy and getting everybody on the same page, that could be just what they need to do just to win a title. That's how much talent this team has. That's how much firepower this team has. If they can just get everybody on the same page and healthy, that might be enough to give Brooklyn a title. I mean, the NBA is so open this year because of COVID. It's so open this year because of injuries. It's so open this year because of how inconsistent the players in the season has been. Where the Nets can literally go through anybody if they healthy and still remain champions, even though they haven't looked like a team that can win the title this entire year because they haven't been healthy the entire year and getting everybody on the same page. This is going to be a wild card season. Just to be honest, it's going to be a wild card season because so much unknown and so much uncertainty has been what this season has been. And we just have to continue to go through it. Just like the players. They don't know if they're going to catch COVID. They don't know what's going to happen when they get the test. They don't know what's going to happen when they go on the court and play. That's just how the league and the world works. And this team is still that dangerous when healthy that it's hard to pick anybody to beat this team in a 7-game series. It's just hard for me to literally look at this screen and tell y'all that if they have Harden, Durant, and Kyrie healthy with this entire roster, it's hard for me to tell you that they can be beat 4 times with that much firepower with also the role players they have. So with Kyrie and KD, it's not enough. KD and Harden, I don't think that'd be enough to win the entire thing. With all three, that'll be enough. But we still have to find out. See y'all tomorrow. Let me know what you agree or disagree with. I have watched every single game of the Nets from the beginning of the year, preseason to now. A lot of these problems they always had. That's why I brought up the beginning, the middle, and the end. And those problems have never been solved because they have never been able to get on the court long enough. We haven't seen the champion do this, but you can also say that about every other team in the league this season. And that's why I still have the Nets, if healthy, and everybody on the court still winning because they just have too much firepower to contain, and you have to put them out, and you have to beat them 4 times. That's just going to be tough to do, but we have to see. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. See y'all tomorrow.